So I wanted to take some time to rewatch last summer's series, the Project VHS series, and kind of give my commentary about the whole creative process for the people that are really interested in that series and what was created there. This is your video. So let's go ahead and get started now. So the first video is called Testing Servers, and it's not the first tape in the series. Actually, it's like kind of a precursor because it's a final summation of everything that has come before it, but to also lead into the new series. So let's just kind of go through this. So you can see that like it's a little bit grayer than the rest of the videos. This starting thing, you'll see it's a lot grayer. And then these are like highlight clips from most of my videos, if not the most popular moments or my favorite moments from the past 3 or 4 years before this. And the reason it's called Testing Servers ultimately is because I wanted to figure out the framing and the style of the videos I was going to do for my videos after this. And so I took all these clips from the old videos and I put them in the VHS format to kind of test the servers to see how it would look. And you know, it completely changed the look of all of these videos, just turning it into that framing for VHS and adding the specific filters that I added. It was like 3 or 4 different filters I put on it. But I really liked the look of it, and I grew up with VHS tapes, so it was kind of a nostalgia thing for me, and I wanted to create videos that would be in that style for nostalgia's sake, and because I thought it looked pretty cool, and it was a unique thing that I hadn't seen done on the internet. That's also why there's older music to kind of like make it seem reminiscent and not as modern, but it's a modern day vlogging approach with a old style recording. And then it cuts here. So the past is the past. What's done is done. Time to move on. For good. Alright, so before we get into the first official tape of the series, the reason I put that bit at the end is because I'm a very nostalgia / reminiscent type person, and so I kept, every time I started doing YouTube again, like at the beginning of each era, I would look back and I'd be like, oh, look how far I've come. Even, you know, the most recent one that came out a week ago, I did that, and it was because like I said, I'm a reminiscent person. I like to look back and see how far I've come. And so when I made this video, I was kind of like, I want to do something new, something I haven't done before, combining elements that I have done before, but something that in its final form is new. And I've used so much footage from the past, especially with like the Honduras 2021 vlog after the movie. I was very reminiscent at the end of that. And I kind of wanted Testing Servers to be like the final nail in the coffin as far as like my old content. This is a new era of my content, starting with this series. And what's done is done. The past is the past. Time to move on for good now. So that's why I put that there. And then you get into the first tape number 1, which is graduation, heading home. And you can see if you compare this first frame, it's a lot more blue. This is the actual color of the video for the VHS. So it shows old times, and now it's the new. Now, I'll speak to this intro a little bit. Alright, so there was a really funny comment. I think it was from my cousin that said, man, this Walking Dead style video intro has me laughing or something, like rolling on the floor or something like that. To be honest, I like intense intros. I like intros that aren't like cliche and like gamer guy and YouTube type intros. I like intros that kind of like stimulate you and draw you in. Like a perfect example of this is actually like not a great movie, but this one sequence I really liked. At the beginning of the Black Widow movie, there's an intro sequence for the movie that happens after the beginning few scenes. And that is one of my favorite intro sequences to any Marvel movie, even though I didn't really like Black Widow as a movie as a whole. That first intro series, humongously, like, that is exactly the type of style that I enjoy. And so I really enjoyed that, and I wanted to do something like that. Not because I was inspired by the Black Widow intro, but I like that style in general, and I had an understanding of that, so I wanted to create that for this series. So that's why I did it. There was no particular reason, and by the way, it's not Walking Dead. It's not. Those aren't plagues. Those videos, I pulled them from stock footage of ink being spilt. So like a narrative, like someone drawing or someone writing out a story. It's supposed to be like symbolic of like creating a story, a narrative, ink being spilled over it, not a disease from The Walking Dead. So just to clarify, that is ink, not anything else. I really like that first shot because it's like I'm pulling out an old thing that I haven't touched in a while. This is one of the few shots of the video that I did when I was at college. This is the first video I've made in a while. A lot of you have probably forgotten that I even make videos. I know I posted a video a few months ago talking about how I was going to be making videos again, and then nothing really came of it. Well, it's because I lacked a vision for what I wanted to do. It's true. I didn't have any ideas for what type of videos I wanted to create. But recently I had an idea for a video series that I'm gonna try doing for a while and see how it goes. The simple idea is just taking you guys along with me on all of the adventures that I may go on. Being able to capture those moments and relive those memories is one of my favorite things to do. Okay, so I'm officially leaving the dorms for the summer. Got all my stuff packed up and heading back now. So, yeah. From what I remember, this was like a very spur of the moment idea as far as like the start of this series. I don't think I actually made testing servers until I had already recorded everything from graduation and heading home. Or at least it was like in the same 24 hours. It was very close together. And I didn't necessarily like go into this day thinking, oh, I'm going to record everything in my day. But as soon as I started like packing up all my stuff and like, oh, this is the start of the summer, I was like, this would be a really good point to start recording a series. And I had already had the idea for the VHS style videos in my head for a couple weeks before this. And so I was like, let me just try vlogging like I normally would and then turn it into that VHS style that I had before. And so I want those memories to be shared with you guys. Like for instance today, my last day on campus. The school year was coming to a close and I was finally getting to come home for the summer. But before I could go home, there was a graduation commencement that I needed to go to. So I wanted to cherish this memory by recording it and sharing it with you guys. See, you can see that the editing outside of the actual visual editing is very similar to the editing I've had in vlogs in the past, like specifically the cinematic vlogs. And that's kind of what I was going for, is making the cinematic vlogs, but in this new VHS style. Or actually, I guess I should say old VH style. But I will say, it was not super fun recording with all these people around, because it's just like, why am I holding my phone up around and recording people? I hadn't done that in a while before this.
Is this a vlog?
Yes.
What's going on, vlog?
Justin, say hi.
Hi to who?
Exactly. It's like, what am I doing? I had been going to college for a year at this point, and I had done almost no videos since I started college at Trinity. And it's just because I couldn't find like the right pattern or mojo to do it. I just didn't really feel the necessity to make videos while I was at college. I've been making videos for 3.5 years now, and it's one of my favorite things to do. Sadly, I just haven't had any ideas for videos up until this point. Exactly. And so I'm gonna run with this new idea that I have and see if it becomes something that I want to continue doing for a while. I'm excited to see where the videos go from here on out. I think this is the beginning of a truly interesting and great era of my content.
Hello?
This is legitimately, this section right here towards the second half of the video is one of my favorite sequences I've ever made. Like the editing, the voiceover, everything about it is like, I really, really enjoy this video. And it's funny because it kind of just came together. This is one of those times where I just filmed the stuff and all of the pieces aligned so organically, and the product ended up being way better than I originally thought it would be. Another time where this happened was when I made the video of me coming back from Honduras once COVID hit. That last one, I think it was like Honduras 2020, the episode 4 or something like that. That video, I filmed it all in one day and I edited it in the same day, and it all came together so perfectly. This was very similar. Guess no one's home. That haircut is disastrous, though, I will say that.
Sweet room.
Ah,
Good old room.
I'm so glad I don't have the orange walls anymore. Oh my goodness.
Fantastic. It's good to be home.
I do not miss those orange walls at
My
all.
room for the summer. The summer of fun.
Legitimately, we just painted. I posted a little clip of it in last week's video, but we just painted the room a new color, and it's so much better now. Really easy on the eyes. It feels better. That eye-bleeding orange was the thing that was driving me crazy for years.
I'm back.
Okay, so it's been a few hours at home, and I was able to get my room basically set up and cleaned up real nicely. So I'm officially settled in, back for the summer. I love how you can see, behind that Samuel's wall or decorations are on my side of it, because we had to like figure out a whole new setup where I needed to go to his side with all of my furniture, because on this side there wasn't enough room, or at least we couldn't figure out a combination in which that would work. Which is funny because that wall with those wall ornaments is actually that wall back there. So I did end up finding now a setup where I can be on this side of it facing the window. It's exciting. I'm mainly just excited to start making videos again because it's been a minute, and I've gotten a recent burst of inspiration, and so I'm gonna... That really is the best way to describe it, is a burst of inspiration. Literally just hit me with the idea of making a VHS style video, and it was like very quick, and I was just like, okay, this is what I'm going to be doing for the summer. Try to run with it and see where it goes, and any feedback would be much appreciated from you guys. Solid transition. There's actually some interesting lore to this whole sequence with like going to the back. I'll say it in a second. Well, I guess I just love letting this play out because this is such a neat sequence. I was so happy with how this turned out when I first made it. I still am, but it's like I was over the moon with how it turned out. As far as creative fulfillment goes, these videos are at the top of the list. As far as the videos that I made, what has been the most fulfilling, these videos are exactly the type of style that I like making. And you can see over the years of making content how this was the end result of so many different types of editing. And like, I started out just making commentary, funny videos, and then like it moved slowly and more to cinematic stuff, where I was just like focused on the editing and the style and the music, and this was really the culmination of it. So it's interesting because I think in a lot of ways this series was my opportunity to just put my energy entirely into the style of video that I found the most fulfilling creatively, and not worry about making any other style of video. And that's why last summer this was the only style I was making, is why this series was the only thing I was making, is because I was just putting all of my energy into making these videos exactly in the way that I felt like was the most creatively satisfying. And so because I did that last summer and I spent the entire summer working on this project, now I feel like I can go back to making videos like I used to, but also occasionally having videos like this. Oh, and also with the hill, what I was going to say with that, I think that I've been going, that's like a hill that is beyond my property. It's like behind where I live. And I've been going back there for years, like since the beginning of my channel. And that's where I go to think. That's where I go to reflect on things. And so I've been wanting to put that hill in my videos cinematically for the longest time. I think I put it in one or two videos. There was one video where Samuel and I went up there. It was called like the Wilderness Adventure or something. And that was like, I think the only time that I actually put the hill in my videos. But that hill is incredibly nostalgic to me. And it's, it's personal to me. So I wanted to put it at the beginning of this series. And I also put it at the beginning of this new era of YouTube. In my return video, I put it right at the end. That was that same hill from the beginning of this series. So, it all comes around. Tape number 2. Also, on a final note for tape 1 is one of the top 3 out of all the tapes. I believe there's, not including testing servers, there's 14 tapes. If you include testing servers, there's 15. But out of the 14 main tapes, I would say that Graduation and Heading Home, the first tape, is one of the best. Top 3 for sure. I'll point out the other top 3 ones when we get to them, because I know exactly which ones they are. So I call this tape the in-between tape because I mean, if you've watched the series before, the majority of the series is put into the Honduras trip, to be honest. So this is like the one video that was not the beginning, but it was also not tying into the Honduras trip, because even the next tape, tape 3, factors in to the Honduras trip, because it's kind of like a precursor, or like it's called The Calm Before the Storm, so that it is that. So on this note, this was a random day. I was going out with a couple of my Trinity friends, and we just went down to the Sponge Docks, the local Sponge Docks, and it's a really neat place. It's a really pretty place. So I was like, oh, I'll record this and I'll make this into a tape. And it's really funny because this video was like, when I made the first tape, it was the end of May. And then when I made this video, it was very shortly after. And then there wasn't another tape actually filmed until like the end of June, I think. There was a lot of time in between this tape and the next tape. Also, as far as this music goes, this artist is named Nova Amor, I believe is how you pronounce it, and I used his songs all throughout this series because I discovered him around the beginning of this series, and I was like, this is almost exactly the type of music that I like for my videos. And so I just used his videos. Like, I had a list of videos. I was like, okay, or I had a list of his songs. I was like, I know I've used these. These are ones I haven't used that would be good to use. And I would just put him a new one in each new video.
I've spent my life from sitting at home, staring at the wall. So cheers to letting go.
To be honest, I remember filming this video and when I got to editing it, I didn't have enough footage of the sponge stocks. So I had recorded a little bit of footage from my actual class that happened the same day. And I was like, I guess I gotta put this in because I didn't get enough footage from the sponge stocks. So that's why this whole little ending part is just me at class. And you can see the date there on the computer. It actually says May 23rd. So this was filmed very shortly after the first tape. And there wasn't another tape filmed until the end of June, is when I said. Yeah, it's a good in-betweener one. You know, I think it's decent, but definitely not one of the best. I'd say it's on the lower end. But I'm glad I had it because there wasn't too many of the tapes that actually happened in America before I went to Honduras. So being able to have like 3 solid tapes in America, it was good. All right, tape 3. Now, I will say this. Tape 3, top 3, by far. One of my favorite ones. And it's kind of interesting because it's mainly one of my favorites because of what's actually in this video, which I'll get to in a second. But let me mention why this one came out so, like a month or so after the second one. It's because in between filming the second tape and filming this tape, I had an entire length of time, like 3 weeks, where I was serving at a camp ministry, and I didn't film anything from that, which I probably could have made some tapes from that, but I just didn't. And so there was a lot of time in between that, and I also got sick during that time. So filming this tape was immediately after I had finished working at the camp and then finished being sick. And this was like the day or two before going to Honduras. So, and this is one of the, once again, another one of the rare scenes where I actually filmed something from college. Even though it was the summer I went to college to work on some stuff for the upcoming semester.
Well, I just got a haircut.
That's almost exactly the haircut that I have now and that I maintain. Alright, this sequence is the reason that it's one of my top 3 for Project VHS tapes. It's just because, like, I absolutely love the editing, I love the scenes, and it's kind of one of my favorite things to do is to drive to downtown Tampa, which I live somewhat near, and downtown Tampa is one of my favorite places to go. Just because, for some reason, I really enjoy being in a city and viewing a city, but not living in a city. I would never live in a city, but I like going to the city and being there for, like, temporary. And I actually really enjoy driving this exact route through downtown Tampa. And I was like, I've been wanting to make I think I had wanted to make this video where I was driving through downtown Tampa for like a year or two before this. So to finally have this in video form, that was like a dream for my channel, was to have a video for this. It's really, as to the legitimacy and safety of filming while you're driving, I would not recommend. I managed to find a way to do it somewhat safely. And because of the stabilization on my iPhone camera, thankfully it didn't look as bad as it probably I mean, even that shot is like all these shots were filmed by me while I was driving. I don't recommend. It's probably illegal. It's probably a bad idea. Don't do it. But I'm glad that the footage turned out as good as it did. Because, oh, goodness. Especially moving shots. Moving shots are great. It took me forever to actually find a parking spot, though, so I could go film in-person scenes here on. It took me like 20 minutes to find a parking spot, which is why I would never live in a city. I love this specific shot because it goes up and then it comes down and it cuts to a different shot, but it goes up. I don't know, there's something about it, I love it. This scene right here, holy smokes, that shot took me forever to get. I was sitting or standing in this exact spot on the side of the road for like a solid 30 minutes in middle of the day with a leather jacket on in the summer. Oh my goodness. It was one of the hardest shots I've ever had to get. And it turned out great, so I'm glad that I got it. But, and it was really hard too because people on the side of the road in downtown Tampa at this exact spot, they'll like be running and like jogging or riding a bike. So like there was constantly people coming up and down being like, what is this guy doing? So it took me a while to get this shot, but it turned out pretty good in the end. Especially that one. That one took a while. That one, yeah, all three of these shots took forever. Because, and the fun thing is, too, that shot right there and the shot before where it was showing me looking out, if you look over to the left in the middle, you can actually see that there is a storm coming. Like, I was on a time crunch for this because that is a storm and it was coming my direction. And it was perfect for the video because the video is literally called The Calm Before the Storm, and I'm looking out and seeing a storm coming. It was perfect, but it was also a very stressful 20, 30 minutes of trying to get this. And I know I could have probably dragged one of my brothers along to help me film it, but I wasn't doing that for this series. All of this series was filmed by me. And so, yeah, actually, now that I think about it, I don't think I have a single shot in this series that was assisted. It was all hand filmed by me or with a tripod that I set up. Yeah, and then I had the idea for this video to, to tease that I was going to Honduras without actually saying it. So I printed out a photo of Honduras that is like a PNG thing that I made on my photo editor. Just saying Honduras with like a picture of Honduras. So, and then this is where the Honduras videos actually begin in the Project VHS series. I was pretty happy with how this video turned out as far as because I've made a lot of videos of the actual process of going to Honduras. I think I've done it like 5 or 6 times at this point. And most of them, to be honest, I'm not very happy with how they turned out. Like, I really enjoyed how it turned out in the movie, and I really enjoy how it turned out in the 2019 trip. But all the other times I filmed the actual going to Honduras, like that first day where I'm in the airport, I'm traveling, I don't really like it. Like, I don't like it from 2020. And, what's the other one? Oh, yeah, Even an Unexpected Journey. I didn't really like the beginning sequence where I was in the airport. So this one's kind of middle of the road. I kind of like it more than the ones I don't like, but it's also not as good as like the 2019 one or the Honduras movie. Biggest thing I learned with recording these day ones of the Honduras trips is do not make it long. Because they are so boring if they are long. Like, you can put shots like these, cool. Just don't make it long. Yeah, like, see, we're already getting off at this point. So, like, how far is that? A minute and 55 seconds of the actual traveling from when I left to when I got to Honduras. That's probably around the right amount of time, to be honest.
But I'm here just to hold your call. I've been thinking I could stay at home. It was all so cold.
Honestly, I could fill entire videos with just the drives from the airport to Meta. Like, there is so many good scenic shots, and like, it's just, the hills are really nice to get these really good moving shots. So I even have to tone those back a bit, because like shots like that is just great. I love it. You can tell I toned even that back a little bit. To some extent, I was trying to fit most of the content within each tape into the length of the actual song I was using also, so that kind of made it so I had to cut back on a lot of the times when I maybe would have made it a longer sequence of shots. So like the song ends here. I did want the first video in Honduras to be a little bit longer than just this, 3-minute song. So I made this little interlude and added another song after. So this is my room that I'll be staying in for the next month here down in Honduras. It's just me in here for this week, I think. But you see, I already got my stuff settled, and yeah, just like the other dorms, it's pretty great. But in all seriousness, I am very happy to be here. I'm very excited to get to serve once again in this ministry. And yeah, as far as videos go for the next month, I'm going to try something a little bit different as far as me doing Honduras style videos. I've always made it a series or a movie or something like last year where it was a really big production. And although I'm very happy with how that turned out, and I think you should definitely go check it out if you haven't already. This time I'm just going to kind of shoot it more casually. It's going to be part of the ongoing Project VHS tapes. And so, yeah, it's going to be like any other video, but in Honduras. And it's going to be pretty cool, I think. And so, yeah, just a little bit of housekeeping for you guys that are keeping up with the channel. And, yeah. It's interesting that I say that because I could have summarized a lot of what I just said with saying, I'm not going to make this a separate series. Instead, I'm just going to add it to the series I've been doing for the past month. Because most of Project VHS is the Honduras series. Or the Honduras style videos. Because I was in Honduras for most of it. So it's like unofficially Honduras Trip 2022. It's just not labeled that on my channel or in the videos. It's just part of Project VHS or the VHS creations. Also, I find it funny that I filled a lot of this time at the end of the video with shots of the bathroom. I remember I put it in and I was like, why am I doing this? I need shots to fill this time, but why does it have to be shots of the bathroom? It was all I had. Sometimes you just have to make do with what you did record and recognize that it's not the best thing you could put in, but you don't really have any alternatives. That's a really long shot. And the reason it's a really long shot is because I didn't have any other shots to fill it with. That's a good shot. I like that shot. That's a fun shot because at the beginning of the 2020 Honduras trip, I actually begin the series with turning my lights off as I'm about to leave. So it's kind of symbolism. I like to connect a lot of dots. This one's a pretty good one. I'm pretty happy with how this one turned out. It's funny because I watch these videos and I'm really happy creatively with how they turned out, but they resemble my original trip to Honduras back in 2017 so much. Like, I get flashbacks of the 2017 trip when I watch this is a trip 5 years later, which is crazy to me because so much has changed since then, and I've changed so much since 2017. And like, it's sad because I've only got a couple videos up from the Honduras trip 2017, and it's because it was like recovered footage, but I had made like a whole 2-hour production when I had originally went to Honduras, and that was like one of the first videos I ever made, and I didn't make it for YouTube, I just made it. And I remember I played it on a Sunday after church for a bunch of people that came over. Sadly, I don't have that footage. I would love to get that footage back, but it's not gonna happen. But I got a little remnant left of it on the channel. It really is interesting, too, how adding the visual format of the VHS tapes makes some of these B-roll shots a lot more interesting. Like, if I picture some of these shots just with, like, the black bars, cinematic mode, widescreen, I'm just like, I probably wouldn't put these in a very formalized HD video. But having it filmed and recorded and edited in a way that makes it seem like it's on a VHS tape makes it so much more, I don't want to say bearable, but like, it fits the format really well. Like, lots of B-roll, it makes it seem like a home video. And that's exactly the mood I was going for, but it really is interesting how it opens the shots up that can be used because it's in this style. Lots of driving shots. My goodness. If I were to compile all of the driving shots I got from all of my Honduras trips over the years, it would be probably 5 to 10 hours of footage. It was a lot. It's really interesting, too, to see this cafe, Retro Cafe. I've gone to this cafe almost every time that I've gone to Honduras, and I have footage from all the way back in 2017 of coming to this place. And it's fun to watch the evolution of this cafe from 2017 to this, because the counters moved at different points, and where you'd sit and eat is different. Like, it used to be in the building, now it's out in the back, and it looks real nice in the back. So that's just some of the fun things. I think that's exactly the essence that I was trying to explain in the first tape of, like, my favorite aspects of making these videos is being able to rewatch them years down the line and see, oh, I remember that. It's like visually being able to see a memory. And not only just me being able to see that memory, but being able to share that memory with someone else. That's really why I enjoy making videos. Like, I'd say, like, that's reason number one. Reason number two would be, like, I enjoy the social aspects of creating videos. Like, making videos with my friends was always one of my favorite reasons to record videos. And then the third reason, and it's the third reason, but it's probably the most important reason, is for my witness, being able to actually share truth through my channel, especially in videos like the podcast that I've been doing, and some of the more serious videos where, like, I tell my testimony or I get baptized. It's all compiled in there, and there's different styles of videos for different reasons. But all three of those reasons play a factor in my channel. Oh gosh, I just realized that guy got literally destroyed, and I recorded it. It's really interesting because when I film these types of videos, my mind goes to a very weird place where I'm not even, like, focused on what I'm recording. I'm focused more on what's going on around me. And so it's just like I will watch back the shots and I'm like, wow, it's almost like I'm viewing my own memory, but I don't remember that memory. So the only way I can remember it is by viewing the video, because I'm not actually paying attention to what's right in front of me when I'm recording. It's hard to explain, but that's the best way I can. I believe this next video takes place over the span of a few days. There was a couple of videos like this one where it was a compilation of multiple videos, or multiple days, put into one video. Yeah, so it starts at day 3 in this one. I think it goes until, like, day 7. The reason the bus was there is because each week that I was in Honduras last year, there was a new group. And obviously the second week that I was there was the group from my church, and that's when most of the videos on my channel were made, was during that week. But there was a group every single week that I was there, a new one.
Still divided everything inside into the floors are tight. It's all that I want. It's all that I want in time. Hardly anything works now.
It is funny how each Honduras trip I have, like, a new artist that I'm, like, listening to, and that will become the main artist that I'm using for these videos. Like, I used Switchfoot a lot in the first 2019 series that I made. And then I think I used Switchfoot again in 2020. And then for 2021, for the movie, I used a lot of, what was it? Oh, the Grey Havens. I used the Grey Havens a lot in the movie. I think all the songs that are with words are Grey Havens except for one. And then this series has No Vodor all over it. That's a fun shot. I don't think I've gotten many backwards driving shots in Honduras. pretty similar. Oh, this is interesting. If you watch very closely, this is a recreation shot. Oh, look at that. That's a shot that was in An Unexpected Journey. And I recreated it for that little scene right there. If I would have been wearing the same shirt, that would have been crazy. And it would have been right. I think this was another one of those videos where I didn't have enough footage. And that's why there's just a lot of B-roll. But it happens sometimes. Alright. Now this one is the third top 3. So, first tape, tape 3, and tape, what is this, tape 7? Tape 7. These are the top 3, I'd say, by far. Love the intro of this one, starting on day 8 with the, if you listen really closely, you can hear me listening to the song from tape 2.
See you there.
But then it cuts out as soon as I take my headphones off. I love that shot.
It's been a long first week of busy work and a lot of service that I'm very happy to be part of. But this next week is going to be a little bit more interesting as far as content goes.
That's a great shot, by the way. I knew.
Not
Not buttering my own bread, but I promise. I really,
some service work
really like that shot.
And so,
not because I'm in it.
Yeah,
also,
today is when they get
it's just
in,
the angling of
hours,
everything is really good.
So yeah, it should be a pretty exciting week.
I think I filmed 2 takes of this intro, and I wasn't exactly sure what I was trying to say, so that's why I did 2 different takes, and I ended up using the first one for some reason. It's funny because, again, going back to the music, in the movie from 2021, I had one song that I was like, this song is the reason I want to make this video, or it's like one of the main songs I want to use in this branch of either video or series. And for 2021, it was the beginning intro song, the Paradise by the Greyhavens, and that was the beginning intro song of the movie, and I was like, that is the essential song. I need that song in my movie. And then for this series, when I started using Nova Amor around the second tape, I was like, I need to have this song in one of the videos. So I planned it out to be in this video, which was the first video that my church's group was coming down. So it was intentionally used at this time during the whole series. This was the first Nova Amor song that I heard, and that's why that happened. I think that's a lot of the reason I would say it's in the top 3 too, is because the song and the scenes put together is just like, it's exactly what I'm looking for in this style of video. Classic on a channel. Sandro was one of the first guests I ever had on my channel, so it's fun seeing him in some of the more recent videos. I think I'm gonna get him in a video coming up soon. This is a great shot. The shots in this video are really what I think make the video great. And we were giving my mom a tour. My uncle was giving my mom a tour on this because this was her first time ever going to Honduras. And being able to film other people walking around the campus was exactly what I was needing. Now this shot, this is the shot. That shot right there is like, I mean, it's the thumbnail, it's just great. I love it. That's a rare night shot. I don't get a lot of night shots because my iPhone has never been able to get good night shots. So. It didn't look terrible, so I put it in. Videos are like this are so much easier to make when there are people that you know you can film, and it's not going to be weird to film them. Like, I know these people, so it's like not weird to film them. And so the videos from this week of Honduras, where my church's group was down here, were like not only easy to film, but really good and nice to film, because I could actually add subjects to film instead of just scenic B-roll shots. Alright, tape 8. At this point, I think we're about halfway through. It's almost completely silent. I don't like that. I should have downloaded some brushing teeth sound effect noise and put it over. I didn't even think to do that. That's a sick shot.
I could make some time if you wanted. Couldn't find the phone. I guess I got that summer you said I could be all
I don't need captions.
if you could rewrite my life.
This is really cool too, because you get to see the end result of all the work that we did not last year, 2 years ago when the movie was filmed. Not in this shot exactly, but earlier at the church. And I think there's another point where we go to the church where you can see the end result of all that work we did in the movie.
I should let this
And it's funny because this place where this is happening is actually in the 2019 series. Briefly, I think it's day 5 or 6. It's in it, and I didn't know we were ever going to come back to this place because it wasn't connected to the seminary at all. But it just happened to work out where we came back to this place, and I had filmed it a couple of years before in the 2019 series.
just called to let you know.
Oh, if you listen really closely there, you can hear very subtly the singing. I didn't cut out the audio entirely. It was just put way down.
Could be your watering star. Let me get my head aligned. How my life be worth the while. Bend my arm, I won't be far right
It's so funny to see the varied reactions when I have my camera out. There's some people that will smile, and then there's the people that are like, "What are you doing?" I think this might be the longest tape in the series. That's a random dog. Oh, okay, so here's the shot. You can see the church that we worked on in the movie, and it's got grass in it, and the walls look real nice, and yeah, it's cool to see the final product, you know, in the series that came a year after the movie was done. There's something to be said about filming people while they're working and you're just sitting there with an iPhone not working. But I could get away with it this time because I was the coordinator. I was making sure everybody had what they need, which is not normally what I would be doing when I go on one of these trips. But since I was interning, that's why I was doing something a little bit different. I had the ability to record more because of that. Great shot of Sandro looking really manly. Oh, I remember this shot of Davey just blowing up the tube. He's putting there's like a solid 2 minutes of him doing that I only put in a little bit, and then him dancing. That's a great shot. Whenever Steven looks at the camera, I always focus up because he always gives the funniest faces. Oh, and there's Kenny giving me one of those faces. What in the world? You can hear a little bit of the audio from that clip, actually. Oh man, this was in 2021, so like COVID was still kind of unsure in places that weren't Texas or Florida. That's why all these kids had masks on. That sucks, man. Although I'm pretty sure by the end of this VBS, like half the kids didn't have masks on because they just kind of reached a point where it was like, we're outside most of the time, we're breathing heavy, no mask please. These kids were so chill about being filmed too. Like, you could not film like this in America. Like, people would give you so much grief for it, especially kids. They would start doing something wild, but like all these kids they would just look at the camera. They might wave occasionally or give a smile, but they were super chill. It was really great too because of the job that I had as an intern and like a coordinator. I had to like constantly go around and make sure everybody was doing good and like on schedule, and oh, you need to go to your next spot. So it gave me the opportunity to get footage from multiple different types of environments. So it worked out really well. Yeah, see there, you know, thumbs up and a smile. Yeah.
If I could have you, oh, if I could have you,
It's a good shot. That's also a good shot. It's a fun way to end a video. Staring at the light. Tape 10. I think this one is a really solid one. Like the last one was pretty good, but this one especially, like, if one of the ones from the top 3 were missing, this one would probably go in it. It's funny because this grocery store has a restaurant in it that I actually went to back in 2017 in the original series, and it's in one of the videos that I posted on the 2017 series. So it's all connected. It's all connected. Oh, goodness gracious. What a shot. That's a funny shot because you could literally see a school bus coming right down the middle of the street. I think this might be one of the few songs that I use that is not Novo more.
Streams of mercy never ceasing, call for songs of loudest praise. Now my vision, oh Lord of my heart, not be all else to me, save that thou.
That's a great shot.
Teach me some melodious sonnet sung by flaming tongues above, waking or sleeping, thy presence my life. I need thee every hour, most gracious Lord. No tender voice like thine can peace afford. How marvelous, how wonderful, and my song shall ever be. How marvelous, how wonderful is my Savior's love.
So I believe this was from the second day of us doing VBS, and it's funny because there's only 2 days of VBS on or in this series, and it's because I got really sick the day after this one, like really sick. I was throwing up, like it was really bad. So I don't think I got any footage from the day after this, and it's because I got sick. And then the tape after this was 2 days after this. So that's why there's a day missing.
This is my song, praising my Savior all the day long. I need thee, oh, I need thee. Every hour I need thee. Oh, bless me now, my Savior.
That's a cool shot.
I come to thee. Here's my heart, Lord. Take and seal it for thy courts above.
Oh yeah, I forgot about this. The end of this video is going to the classic ice cream shop, which I believe I've had in most, if not all, of the series, is going to this ice cream shop. Oh, there's the shot, I think in this one, of right here. Oh, wonderful. There's the... I actually kept the audio from that. I wasn't sure if... I remember me saying that, but I completely forgot I had it in the actual series. Bro, this is another instance where, because I've had this ice cream shop in all of the series I've done it in Honduras, you can see the evolution of the shop from the first to this. Like, it's completely changed in the same way as it did with the cafe. It's a random shot. Occasionally I'll catch like a shot that I'm doing, I'm like, that's just a terrible shot, what in the world? I love it because people are always expecting I'm taking a picture, but I'm really taking a video, and then like I can clip a picture out of it, and then people are like, oh, I like that picture. I was like, yeah, I was definitely trying to take a picture there. I remember these specific shots I was trying to get to finish up the day's video, and everybody around me was so aware that I was filming. So they kept looking at the camera and being like, and I had to like sneak it very carefully, but it happens. Yeah, so this was the day after I got sick. And that's why there's no day 12. I didn't feel great this day either. I was still recovering, but I wasn't throwing up, and it was just like some mild stomach pain. I think that's why it's probably one of the shorter ones.
There's gotta be something that I could say in time, but I can't find the words. keep me on fire. Keep me on fire.
This is the classic pottery roadside string of shops that I got in the movie. We had never gone to this place, to my knowledge, before making the movie in 2021. So it was cool revisiting this place, and because that was such a staple, I think, of the movie, was the section of going to the pottery roadside attractions. It's just so visually appealing and stimulating. Like, there's so many colors and so many different things to look at. I mean, you could slow this footage down and see like a ton of different things from these sections, like where we're going to the pottery place. That's funny. There's a movie theater right there to the right, and I went and saw Thor 4 there while I was in Honduras this time. Right around the time of my birthday, actually. I remember I was looking at all this yummy food, but because I had been throwing up the day before and my stomach was still kind of hurting, I didn't really want anything. So I did get a hot chocolate, but even the hot chocolate didn't taste that good because my stomach was just a wreck. You can see it in my eyes, just like, yeah, not great. It wasn't that the hot chocolate was bad, it was just like my stomach and my taste buds were all messed up. Oh, that's the end of that one. I forget how short that one is. Oh, something interesting about that. I'm actually going to back up. And so if we watch it from the beginning. The music is a little different in this intro than it has been before. And it's because it's from the same song that I originally used. That's a sweet reference. It's because I used the same intro song, but I think this video came out in the fall. Wait, hold up. I'm gonna pause. This is something that I never actually talked about. I don't know if I talked about it in the Beyond the Tapes video, but I published the Pottery and Coffee Shop video. And that came out around the time that I was actually ending the Honduras internship. And I didn't publish the final 3 tapes until the fall, like a couple months after. And it's just because I never got around to editing them when I got back from Honduras. So they came out really late and way after. But I was like, I need to make sure that this series is completed, and so I did it. But the editing style is slightly different because of that time gap, and I didn't have the original intro sequence set up in my editor, so I had to recreate it in the song. I used a little bit of a different section from the intro song, just unintentionally. I don't think I realized it until after I had finished editing it, so that's why it sounds a little bit different. It's also why the music is different in these last 3, I think. I don't know if I used Nova more in the next one, but I didn't use it in this one. This is another one of those Adventure Day ones. They're great. I mean, these make for the best videos in Honduras series. Whenever we go to the waterfall or the lake, it's just great. I think this was the first time that I did. I think I might have gone on the zip line. I don't remember. It might show up. Oh, there we go. I was on it. I couldn't remember if I had ridden it, rode it. Classic. That's a callback to 2020. That's such a great shot. This was the first time I had ever gone to this section of the lake. I had never been here before this time. So this was new for me too. Nice. Cows. Looks like my camera was a little foggy this day. The timing on this video is great. I love it. That's great. I love that. That's another video where it's like, if the top three were not the top three, that would probably be lined up for the next of the best. Oh man! Now the next three are definitely the tear jerkers of the. See, you can see this one's changed. I changed the intro entirely, which I'm kind of glad I did it for these last two ones because it makes it unique and it makes it nice to change it up for the last two.
Could be looking at you.
No, I didn't use Nova Amor in this one either. Wow, so I guess I just didn't use Nova Amor in these last three at all.
Separate loads, separate calls. No fine line, don't have to be.
That's a picture of my uncle with a flower crown on. It's pretty great. This is one of those videos that I had a vision for some shots that I wanted, but like it was just filled with whatever footage that I could get from some of the like days. Like the first half of the video is just from this day of them leaving, but then the second half of the video is just from multiple days of me being in the internship, and it's because the last 2 weeks were really unique. Like there wasn't a lot of going on. I was just kind of buckling down and working, and there wasn't too much to film because of that. And so I would film occasionally and just take whatever I could get and put it into this video and the next video. Yeah, this was the specific shot that I wanted to get for this video. I had this shot envisioned in my brain around the time when I shot it. It's funny because I think I had envisioned that shot all the way back in 2020 when I was interning, and it never happened because when I was originally interning in 2020 and I was going to do it for a year, we were planning on having the church come down in the summer, and I was going to do the exact same thing I was doing during this month internship. But then COVID hit and it didn't happen. But even back then, I had envisioned that shot of me closing the door to the van and waving goodbye and them leaving. So that was a shot almost 2 years in the making. And then this is just filling time in between when they left at the end of the second week and then around the last few days of the third or fourth week. I don't know if I talked about this in the Beyond the Tapes video, but I actually ended up coming back a few days earlier than I originally planned, and it was because I had to go to a funeral. It kind of popped up, and I needed to come back early to go to this funeral. So it wasn't a full 4 weeks that I was there. I was there for like 3.5 weeks. So you can see it started out with day 17, and then day 16, and now this is day 17. It's just random shots from these days. And this was actually the span of time. It was around this time was when I had my birthday and I turned 22. I mean, this is very much what I was doing every day for like a week and a half, was just getting up, going. Occasionally would do like a grocery run, but I was mainly just working on the computer for most of the time. All right. Now for the last one. The final days. Once again, cutting in the music differently in the intro.
I wanted you for life.
That was also a little bit different. It cut straight to the video instead of cutting to black.
In the wind. I never thought there'd come a time that our story would end.
That's a cool shot because there was a couple times earlier in the series where I was at this retro cafe with other people, and then this time I was just there by myself.
But I guess I'll have to try. It's not easy to say goodbye. For all the joy we shared, all that time we had to spend. Now, if I had one wish, I'd want forever back again.
Oh, you can see me watching one of the tapes there as I edited it. That's fun.
And hold you when you cry. It's not easy to say goodbye. I remember all those great times we had. So many memories.
It's just a shot of my dirty bedroom. Fantastic.
Yes, and through it all, those memories will last forever.
Alright, this shot specifically was another planned shot. I had this shot envisioned in my mind, and I kind of set it up a few days before.
Maybe all I need to know.
Very similar to leaving in 2020, but on a much better note. Because in 2020 I left because of COVID, but it was a similar leaving shot. And then this time it's actually leaving, and it's like on a happy note.
And so I have to say, I'm just glad you came my way.
This is another instance of me wanting to cut
It's not
travel
easy
footage as much as possible. Like, there was a quick cut to the plane,
to say.
and then it's going to show this one. I like this shot a lot, though, because it shows the day, and then when I get to Tampa, you can see it's nighttime. It's a really cool shot. And there's me at the house.
Goodbye.
There's my dad helped me bring my luggage in. It's funny because that song at the end, I believe it's by, who is this, Chris Stapleton? Oh, no, Kenny Rogers. So I found this song by Kenny Rogers called Goodbye, and I really liked it for the ending of this. And when I was planning to come back to YouTube this summer, I had this whole scene that I was going to film at the beginning of last week's video, where I would have the tube TV and I would take the VHS clip out as it's finishing up that song by, by Kenny Rogers. But as I filmed it all, and then I tried editing it, and I just could not find a good way to spin it. So I just completely nixed that idea from last week's video. But that was originally my plan, was to bring in the end of this series into the beginning of this new era of YouTube, but it just didn't end up working out. But yeah, that was the entire Project VHS collection, last year's series, and the only videos I really made last year. Like I was saying earlier, creatively, this was probably the peak of my content. Is exactly the type of content that I enjoyed making, like these vlogs that were very B-roll focused, with music kind of bringing the vlog through the entirety of the video. And I think that it's interesting because I think I said it earlier, but getting it all out in the summer, and this being the only type of content that I worked on for an entire summer, kind of made it so that now that I'm back at YouTube, I have somewhat more of a desire to do other videos than just this type of video, because I've already had an elapsed amount of time where I just dedicated my time and my efforts to making cinematic vlog-like content. And so now I have the ability to make those types of videos now, and I probably will in the near future when the opportunity arises. I have something to film like that. But now I feel like I can actually make videos that are not that and also be creatively satisfied. And that's a really interesting byproduct from doing this series that I didn't realize would come of it. And I'm kind of happy about it because it opens up my ability to make videos, because to be honest, if I'm not going to Honduras, it's really not that easy to film these vlogs type videos, because a lot of times they either cost money or there's just not a good premise to go and record a vlog style video. You have to be going somewhere or doing something or showing something that is abnormal from just what my day-to-day looks like, which is just being in this room and doing work or something like that. And so I think that it was good that I did this series, because now I can point back and say, yeah, that was a good time. And obviously it supplies the memories for me to be able to look back. And I'm really, really happy with how these turned out. And so, yeah, that was this video. I want to thank you guys for watching. If you guys made it to the end of this full-length commentary, hey, good on you. You guys did a pretty intense watch through of my content, and I appreciate you coming and watching this. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope it was somewhat entertaining, and I would love some feedback on the series, what you thought about it, what was good, what was bad, and yeah, any feedback would be great. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.